Thank you. And welcome to Maven Sports Show. This is your host here, Haven Harrington, joined in the greatness that is a Tunaville Tavern with my right-hand man, Ill Will, Mr. William Wright, who
the
went.
architect and the engineer. How about that?
That's it.
That's
man.
it, man.
So
Hey,
you went to your first
my first.
Kentucky Derby.
And let's say, boy, did it ever deliver. It was the most historic derby
Ever. In the history of derbies.
in the history of derbies, and everybody out there knows exactly what we're talking about. It went down. It went down. A lot of people are upset about the outcome. A lot of people are still not accepting the outcome because there's still a lot going on relative to it. But we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because things are not settled yet. Things are not done.
Not even
It's
close.
not over and done.
Not even close.
But let's talk. Let's just rewind a little bit. So we made it out there. You know, the weather was a little finicky.
As it always is.
The crowd, you know, was a little thin according to Hey. Like I said, never been before. So to me, I was like, yo, it's fat out here. He was like, nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? If the weather was good, it would be insane out here. So hey, take us through the Derby real quick based on your previous experiences. How did you feel about this current Derby?
To me, it wasn't as many people out there as it has been in the past. But, once again, it was a little chilly,
Right.
very windy, and a lot of rain, which seems to be like what happens now every year for Derby. It's cold, wet, and rainy. And then, like, the day after, Sunday, it's warm and sunny like that
Right.
never happened.
Right.
So, once again, this is Derby just followed suit, cold, wet, and rainy. Churchill Downs wasn't as packed as what I've seen in years past, where it's like wall to wall. You walking shoulder to shoulder. But, it was still a nice crowd. Everybody still enjoyed themselves. It still took forever to get out of Churchill Downs. And we left, like, mad late. But we left, like, about, 2 hours after the Derby ended because we stayed for the press conferences. And there was still, like, super long lines, like, for the buses. It was just, like crazy, even trying to get out of there. And it wasn't even, like, even of a crowd like Derby. But, I still had fun. It was still a great time. And to see the most historic Kentucky Derby ever live. And the best part about it was watching it live with Laura King and her husband. And for those who don't know, Laura King is the anchor for the Dubai Racing Network.
Yes, indeed. We were there in the same box with them. Our little 4-person box we shared with Laura King and her husband. And
which was crazy. Like, talking about my old Kentucky home, and
Right.
talking about it's like what's horse racing like in Dubai versus.
And
here.
the invite has been set out, yo. They have given us the invite to
The
come
red carpet
to
treatment.
the red carpet treatment in Dubai. So if y'all see us live streaming
From
and,
Dubai
and
World
showing
Cup.
out and stunting real hard on the gram or whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's coming.
It is coming. We're gonna do it hard when we go to Dubai. Check us out for real.
Horse racing Dubai.
Stay tuned for
'cause
sure.
They were from. How much money having Dubai is crazy because they're from London. Like,
Right.
They live in London, but they work out of Dubai.
They work out of Dubai, yes indeed.
And so they fly them out, and they flew all over the country. So when the Dubai racing season isn't in season, they're in France.
Right.
They're all over the world.
Right, they're a traveling network.
Going horse
Or
racing.
She's a traveling representative of the network. Now, all of the who's who, that were in effect. You said Jeff Bezos. A lot of people don't know who that is. He is the owner of Amazon. Wealthiest man in the world, one of the wealthiest, I'm
I
sure.
think it's it kind of changes.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
at one
'cause
point,
he just
at
had
one
a
point
divorce.
this year, he was the wealthiest man in the world. I think now his wife is the co-wealthiest person.
Yeah, because they just got a
in the
divorce.
world.
So, but no, she's the second wealthiest female in the world. But no, Jeff Bezos was in effect. Tom Brady was in effect. Aaron Rodgers was in effect.
We might say the entire Packers team was
The
there.
Packers team, Chris Tucker, Steve Harvey. Who else are you aware of that was there?
Maxine Waters.
Maxine
was
Waters, who you
there.
had the pleasure of actually meeting and getting a photo out with. Shout
Actually,
out. Yeah.
you know what? If you check our Facebook page at maineventsports101.com, we actually have interviews with Maxine Waters,
Interview Maxine Waters,
Vivica Fox.
A. Fox.
Chris Tucker.
Yo,
is on
it was
there,
a big
so,
weekend.
yeah.
And then you got a little post of me and the Have man right here stunting in box 322. Yo, we had a really good time. Everything fell in place. Now let's get into the controversy. So the race finished up, and the first thing we heard, hold your tickets. Hold your tickets. Yeah, we were like, what?
What's going on? And then he started playing replays. I'm like, why? Because like at Churchill Downs, nobody ever said like what was going on.
Right.
They just said hold your tickets. And on
Hold
the big
your
screen,
tickets.
you can just see the replay
They kept
over
showing
and
the
over
replay.
and over again. I'm like, man, what's going on? What's going on? And the Lord King behind me, she's getting text messages from Dubai because they're watching replay like live on television.
Right, they're
in
watching
Dubai.
it on television, so they can hear what the commentators are saying in addition to watching the video. And they hear what the commentators are saying about what happened, whereas we had an idea of what happened, but we weren't getting any type of updates in terms of what's being looked at and what's being highlighted, and what they think the outcome may be. So it was kind of interesting actually being there live, trying to get a feel for what do we think is about to happen. So yeah, no, it was very real or surreal, if you ask me, to be there live while that was happening, because we had no idea of what the potential outcome was going to be. Not the fact that the winner would be changed. I did not see that coming. I'm sorry.
No, I never thought in a million years they would ever disqualify the Kentucky Derby winner. And from actually going back and kind of rewatching the footage on television and kind of hearing other commentators, other horse experts kind of talk about what happened, by the letter of the law, yes.
Yes, I can see
Maximum
that.
security did interfere with the other horses, and by the letter of the law, should have been disqualified.
You smell that?
But man, could you really disqualify the Derby winner?
Would you have the gall to do it?
For the first
make
time
that, to
in
actually make that call?
145 years,
Yes.
to disqualify the Derby winner because he interfered with another horse, and the horse that won wasn't even affected.
He wasn't even affected by the interference call. He wasn't affected by the foul, as they put it. So it's like we're in a game, and or like when we were related to, you kept related to track and field. A lot of people don't know that Haven is a former track and field runner, and you said that there are some similar rules that there's some similar rules that apply in track and field.
Yeah. So in track and field, like if you're on a 100-yard dash and you have to stay in your lane, and if you get out of your lane and you bump another player, yeah, you're DQ.
But see, the thing is, I think a lot of people didn't have an idea, because in track there are lanes. They're like physical lanes on the track, whereas in horse racing, I guess they're implied lanes.
Yeah, it's kind of an applied lane, but you can't impede the progress of another horse.
And that's understandable.
So if you move in front of another horse and slow down to keep them from passing you, that's against.
But for most of us, when it comes to any type of racing, we tend to refer to automobile racing,
NASCAR.
In which case,
you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
You're supposed to get in front of them and block them from passing you.
Like in Days of Thunder, you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
Exactly. What was it called in with Ricky Bobby, the slingshot or no. But it was called shake and bake. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about, shake and bake. So it's like that's what you're supposed to do. Like, well, I'm just supposed to let you pass me. That applies in a lot of sports.
Now, and here's the thing, though. That rule that was enforced at Churchill Downs is only in the United States and Canada. The rest of the world, the rules are different. So the rest of the world, like if you impede another horse, if it doesn't affect the outcome of the race, there's no foul.
Right.
So if this had been run, let's say in Dubai, maximum security would still be the winner of the Kentucky Derby.
Right. And here's the thing, okay, and which we're going to get into in a second. The people who won money off of maximum security, what are they thinking? If you're listening in and you had a bet placed on maximum security, who was the race's favorite, he was the favorite to win. So a good majority of the people who bet money bet on maximum security, even if they had money on other horses, okay?
They're probably not too mad because maximum security was the favorite.
Well, it depends on how much money you put down.
Yeah, but you had to put down a whole lot of money to get a top return.
Not necessarily.
Now,
that's relative.
I'm going to say this now.
Because a whole lot of money is a relative term.
I'm going to say this, though. Now, the real folks who are really happy about this are the folks who place money on Country House, because Country House was like the largest.
The second biggest, what's the word? Long shot.
Long shot,
The
yeah.
second longest
65
shot
to 1
in history.
So
Some horse was 90 to 1. I'm surprised he even made the field, whoever that 90 to 1 horse was.
Yeah.
That's a pretty long
But
shot.
he made 65 to 1.
65 to
so
1.
if you put like any type of money on him, man,
Yeah.
you were just like, you were celebrating.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like I said, if you got somebody who put their last $100 down on the favorite to win, which means you got, a good chance to win. You put your last $100 down expecting to walk out of there with $400 and then see him cross the finish line. I thought 4 to 1. I thought the odds on come race time up to $10. Only up to $10 though. So if you bet more, so listen.
Hey,
okay, now explain this to me. Explain this to me because I'm not familiar with how this works. Because what I was told is that Maximum Security was a 4 to 1 favorite.
Yeah.
So apparently that changed by race time.
The thing, I think it was more in the horse's favor at race time. So he became more of a
Gotcha.
Of a favorite. So like if you put a $2 bet down, you're not making any money.
Got you.
But
So
now,
it was
if
an
you put
upside down. So you had to spend more to make. Basically, it was more of a risk than it was a reward.
Yeah. So basically, if you make any money off Maximum Security, you had to put like literally like thousands of dollars down for you to make any type of money.
Gotcha.
Now,
So once you place your bet, are the odds not locked in on your bet?
yeah, at that point, the odds were locked in.
So I'm saying if I placed my bet when it was a 4 to 1, are my odds locked in at 4 to 1?
Your odds be locked in at that point at 4 to 1.
So again, if somebody dropped 100 on Mac when he was 4 to 1,
but it's not like you get four. But it's not like you put 100 down, you get 400 back if he wins. It was a 4 to 1 because he's a 4 to 1 favorite. So it's the odds way it works. Yeah, it's weird. I know.
So from what you're saying, you would have to bet 400 to win 100.
Yeah. Yeah, you spend 400, you get 500 back.
Oh, gotcha.
So you really had to put up. Yeah, so you really have to put up.
He
doesn't gamble, so it's okay. it's okay.
You got some dice. Yeah, then we can talk all day. I just go listen. If you're out there listening, the smartest thing you can ever do is go to a casino and bet on one of the half odds at a roulette table. Either bet on one of the colors, or bet on the above numbers or the below numbers, or bet on odds or evens. It's like 49% in your favor to win. If you're doing anything else, I told you at the track, there were 20 horses running. You have when everything comes down to it, everything in life is 50-50. Either you will or you won't. So if you bet on a horse, either that horse is going to win or it's not. Okay, that's the bottom line. But you have a 1 in 20 chance of that being the horse that wins. Who takes those bets? I don't understand who these people are. I just can't get into it.
I do. A lot of people take those bets.
Hey, man, and that's why they walk away with their juniors college fund depleted. That's, there's a reason why these horse tracks and these casinos make so much money. Because people are so gullible. I don't understand. I'm going to walk into a casino and sit here and play an electronic machine that can be programmed to do whatever it wants to. Lemon, oh, sorry. Grapes. I mean, it can do whatever it wants. It's an electric. You're playing against a computer. People who used to play online poker, you really had no idea whether you were playing another person or an algorithm. Are you serious? Who would go for something like that?
Millions of people.
They did. It was insane to me. You're sitting there playing up against an algorithm written by a computer scientist and wondering why you just can't get over. You can't get over the hump. Man, some people are so gullible, man. I need to start selling land. For real. So anyway, long story short, man.
So like, if you bet on Country House, if you put $100 down on Country House, you ball.
6,500 in return. So I got that portion correct. Right?
Yeah.
65 to 1. And so against the house, I guess is the way we should say it.
So you made off like a bandit.
You did. But how many people put down $100 on Country House?
The family. Of the owners and the friends of the family and owners.
So when you think about this from a financial standpoint, and we got to invoke some conspiracy in there.
Break it down to its very last compound.
Man, extremely. Listen, physics this ain't, okay? Churchill Downs was about to get hurt really bad the other day, money-wise. And a lot of bookies, a lot of people, if you bet on the favorite and the favorite turns out, because most people are betting on the favorite.
Yeah. That's why it's a favorite.
So all of a sudden it gets turned upside down to the worst horse in the race winning.
One of the worst horses in the race, yes.
Was there somebody that was a longer odd?
Probably.
No, he was the second longest odd in history.
No, the win. He was the win the Derby. But there's probably longer odds. I mean, I don't know, so I have to check. But it may be longer odds actually in the race itself. He's the second longest odd to ever win the Kentucky Derby.
Got you. You're saying they may be in worse odds, but they didn't win.
Right.
Got you. I'm
they
with
still
you.
lost like they're supposed to.
I'm with you now. I'm still exactly. They stayed. They look. They stayed in their place now.
Yeah.
You know your place, but no.
No, you're
so
wrong.
now all of a sudden, Churchill Downs. They're doing okay. Things are looking brighter for them. We got to pay off, a few $100,000 as opposed to what was it, $9 million that they were going to be in the hole.
Yes.
So, all I'm saying is, this worked out in Churchill Downs' favor in a major way. In a major way. So those are things that you have to consider. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to be the first person to say something about it because, as we know, in that post-conference interview,
you had the question of the press conference.
Everybody's passing around the mic. About halfway through the interview process, I'm like, okay, nobody's really going to answer this question. So I went ahead and raised my hand and just patiently awaiting this microphone because I knew that if this microphone came to me or if someone asked the same question I was about to ask, by the time it got to me,
which took forever,
I was going to be sitting there with nothing to say because that was the only question I had loaded up. And the set there went over in my head several times. Okay? So the race was over. They finally announced it. Some people hung around because another thing I didn't know, that I'm sure a lot of people didn't know, there are actually 2 additional races that take place after the Kentucky Derby. The Derby this time around, which I'm not sure if it's every time, was race number 12, and there were 14 races.
Every time.
Every time. So there you go. Now, so we're in the press conference. And me and Haven and I, we're about to leave. I was like, you ready to blow this joint? Couldn't get no extra chicken. They said we need another ticket. All right, let's get out of here. Wait a minute. There's a press conference? Oh, I got to do this. So I'm in there, sitting back and center.
With journalists from all over the world.
All over the entire world. And nobody thought to ask this one question.
Which is crazy.
Insane to me. Excuse me. William Wright from Main Event Sports. Being that Country House was indirectly affected by this foul, are you at all concerned that there may be litigation in reference to the results of this race? Well, I hadn't thought about that, and I guess that would be a nightmare for everybody involved.
I.e., please don't sue me. Please don't sue me.
Word up, I come out the house this morning ducking like, yo, I hope they ain't looking for, because look, breaking news this morning. No lie. The owners of Maximum Security are seeking an appeal.
Seeking impossible.
Did that bow-legged dude plant that seed? We're going to kill him.
Impossible lawsuit.
Impossible lawsuit.
Because that's
a federal lawsuit. The appeal was already denied. For people who haven't been keeping up, the appeal has been denied by the Kentucky Racing Commission, which they knew because as it states in the rules and for the state of Kentucky, all decisions are final from the
stewards.
The stewards. And they knew that going into the appeal.
But you have to do that.
That was the due process.
Somebody do it anyway. You have to do it.
You have to do it before you can take it to the next level. But due to that fact, they're looking to fight it out in a federal court. But no, the guy went on, following me cutting his response, saying, "Yeah, well, I know the family of Maximum Security and all of their contributors, and they're good people.
We love them.
Yeah, I don't think they would take it there." And yeah. Okay, it's money, my man.
This is a gentleman's sport.
It's a gentleman. Yeah, right. I put a quarter down on the track. They knew where to stop it. No. This is not golf. It's happening, folks. And this thing. So the next big announcement. Maximum Security's owners come out and announce he is not racing in the Preakness in 2 weeks.
Not going to do it. And that's why. Why
like,
what's the Preakness?
Because he said I have no purpose in racing in it because there's no chance at the Triple Crown.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's 2 weeks later. I want to rest my horse. There's
rest
no
my
chance
horse.
to quit Triple Crown. Why bother? Because here's the thing.
And shout out to our man Corey Griffin chiming in.
So if Maximum Security won the Derby like he should have.
Corey Goffner, I'm sorry, Corey.
And then went to the Preakness, that means more stud fees.
More stud fees.
More money. Actually, you know what? It's not even about the purse because the Derby is not even the highest paid race in the country, horse race in the country.
Right, it doesn't pay.
World,
and relatively speaking, it doesn't pay a whole lot. But they said there was something upwards of $10 million that would have been available in stud fees.
That's where the money's at.
Right now,
the money's in stud fees.
Here's the thing. Here's the good thing for Maximum Security. everybody still saw the race, and they saw how fast he was.
They saw he won.
Bob Baffert said, he came out this morning and said that maximum security was like, I think his words were like 5 times better than any horse on the track.
Yeah. I mean,
speaking against his own, the 3 horses of his own that he had in the race.
I mean, there was no doubt that on that sloppy track, maximum security was going to win. It was no doubt. But because of technicality,
yeah,
he got disqualified.
That's cool. But if I'm breeding horses,
I don't care.
Okay, LeBron James is a bad dude. So what? I'm taking him. I'm breeding horses. Well, maximum security got disqualified.
And
yeah. Go ahead and pass that bottle, player. It's a right. Yeah, we over here mating.
Yeah. The thing is, but if he wins the Preakness too, then that's even.
Of course.
That's more he offer. So this literally probably costs maximum security literally tens of millions of dollars.
See, I don't think so. Because I think a lot of people are going to see through this I almost said conspiracy, but this situation.
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, he won the Derby, so there's that. But I'm saying if you also win the Preakness,
right, of course,
that's more money.
That's more money
that you can get for stud fees.
Right, but see, here's the thing. They can ride this story however they want to. It's all about how you spin it.
It's about how you spin it, but
if you see how effective he was on that track in the Derby, it's a wet track, it's muddy track, this and that. Imagine. We went up there to the Preakness. If the weather's good, it's all about the spin, brother, and they can spin it however they want to. But we didn't race, but I'm telling you, we would have beat anybody in the race.
It's about the spin, but actually winning.
No, I understand that.
I
do. But I'm saying the fact because what you're comparing to is winning versus going up there and losing.
Yeah.
But he's not running at all. This is the difference, and that's what I'm trying to explain. That has a different angle that can be spin that the spin can be put on. Because when you go and lose, it's like, oh, he was, it was a fluke. It was this or that.
My thing is just like, you can spin it all you want, but the thing is, winning, you don't have to spin winning.
Right, but here's the thing,
and that's extra
typically
money.
It's winning versus losing. But now we're talking about winning versus not competing. It's like a boxer, I don't have to box anybody no more. I know I can beat them all.
You talking about Mayweather? What?
I wasn't going to take it there. But you can continue to sit back and say that forever if you want to, because they have no proof that fighter can beat you because you've never stepped into the ring.
Mayweather.
So maximum securities, people can sit back and say it forever. We would have won all 3. We would have won the Triple Crown. I guarantee you.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
And that's a story that they can keep riding as long as they want.
And they can keep riding it, but
up until 15 years from now when they do the 30 for 30 on this whole thing, because they're gonna do one.
Oh, that'll probably be next week.
It's gonna be a big deal for a long time.
It is.
It's gonna be brought up every year on Derby. It's gonna be brought up.
Oh yeah, because that's the first time in 145 years.
Yes,
the winners. But it's crazy. So it's crazy to be there and just listen to shock. I mean, just an audible like. Came over 100,000 people at the same time. Just like,
oh man, I'm gonna tell you something, and a lot of people might not like me for this.
They won't, but go ahead and say it.
I actually felt sorry for Matt Bevin when he was on that winner's podium and got booed by the entire crowd.
Man,
I felt sorry.
I didn't.
I don't care for him that much.
The boos were deafening.
It was bad. They
were deafening. I'm like, they were booing so loud at Churchill Downs.
100,000 people booing at you.
People don't even know you.
They don't. Yeah, people from overseas
who don't even live here.
Born in a different language. It's like, the shit. It was bad, man. It was bad.
No, what made it so bad? They were booing so loud, you could not hear anything Bevan was saying over the loudspeakers. You literally could not hear anything but boo.
He's telling the truth.
That's all you heard, and the people behind me was like, and I can't do a fake British accent, but pretty much like.
Can they see me through these comments?
Yes.
Okay.
There's like, why forsooth are they booing? And I had to explain the whole deal. Why? Well, nobody really likes Bevan in Louisville. So.
No, man. He's the governor of our state, and they hate him. We hate his guts.
Booed. I mean, booed hard.
As Al Roker would put it, he's a nitwit.
I've never seen somebody get booed that hard before.
I haven't
like, pro wrestlers don't get booed that hard.
Mike Vick don't get booed that hard.
Well, they did kick him out of Louisville.
Roger Goodell,
he didn't get booed that hard at the draft. It was like, even last year didn't get booed that hard.
Yeah.
Because trust me, if Roger Goodell got booed as hard as Bevan did, the draft would have been just like this.
Yeah, you couldn't.
You wouldn't heard nothing.
It was bad.
Nothing. I mean, it was, man, they went hard to paint.
But no, man, it's a lot more to come from this. I'm sure we'll probably have some updates for you all even next week. And and maybe a couple weeks after that, because this is not going to be a short thing to be determined. I don't think.
Oh,
believe.
not in the least bit. This is going to drag on for a bit.
There was a world famous trainer who came out today and said that he think that the stewards got it wrong, because he said that he felt like the horse corrected itself very fast. It was a crowded field, and that it was really hard to maintain staying in your lane going around that curve, especially with the crowd reaction and such.
Because it was deafening. I mean,
it was really deafening. And then on top of that, the owners of Maximum Security have referred to Churchill Downs as a greedy organization. Now, a lot of people say, well, obviously, right? But what they were referring to is the fact that most horse races only have 14 horses in the field. And the Kentucky Derby has 20. And they said they do that just out of greed. They try to pile more horses in. And they said it's too many horses. It's almost impossible not to get crowded, especially on a wet track.
I mean, it is hard, especially going 4 deep, and everybody's running almost the same clip, and in the lead pack, it's almost impossible not to bump somebody. But, to me, when you look at it from a horse racing perspective, and what makes the Derby so unique is how loud
it's so loud
the Kentucky Derby is. I mean, unless you're there and you can hear the crowd scream and cheer the horses on, it's deafening. It's like being at an NFL championship, like the Super Bowl. People get excited.
Right.
Or the NBA Finals, they get so loud. And for horses, they're not used to hearing this because of most racetracks, it's not loud. It's like
loud, right.
20, 30,000 people there maybe.
Right.
And they're kind of cheering, but you really can't hear.
And if they are cheering, they're cheering going down the stretch. It's not coming around the last turn. It's like.
And this is different. We got over 100,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs. It gets deafening. For horses, they're not used to hearing that, and they got spooked. And even the rider of Maximum Security said his horse got scared once he heard the crowd.
Right.
I got scared hearing the crowd. It was so loud.
But and another thing to be considered, all the ambulance chasers here in the city, they getting their paperwork together for this class action lawsuit on behalf of the people who waged bets on Maximum Security. So I won't name any of them by name, but y'all know the greasy ones I'm talking about. That's gonna be out here. Were you affected by the 2019 145th running of the Roses? Call now.
Did you lose your house?
Do you have anal seepage? It's like, yo, what is? Hold on, I do, but can I get money for that? Like,
are you shirtless now?
Was that because of the Derby? Like, what I'm saying? Are you coughing up blood? It's like, it's gonna be crazy. I can see this thing going nuts, but we will definitely find out in time.
Oh yeah, but hey, once again, it was still all in all a great Derby, a great Derby 145. All the stars came out. Even some surprises I didn't expect to see showed up, like Jeff Bezos was awesome. So, once again, the Kentucky Derby has shown itself to be one of the premier sporting events in the world. I'm not going to say the country, like literally in the world.
The galas leading up to it, we had Babyface performing at one of the galas. Usher was the headliner at one of the galas.
Trifecta galas.
The Trifecta gala. Yo, it was a star-studded weekend, as usual and as expected. So, it was good for the city. It was good for the fans. And I think it's a good thing to have something different to talk about in horse racing, because typically I'm talking about within 30 minutes of the Derby. You don't hear another word about the Derby until Thunder over Louisville.
Actually,
it's like
on a national level.
On a national level, you don't hear anything about it until
next Derby.
The Oaks. I mean, seriously, it's like nobody talks about the Derby until the minute that it's over. That's why very few people knew that there were more races after the Derby, because a lot of the live coverage even cuts out after the Derby. They don't keep showing the 2 other races, So there's a lot that's going to be done for horse racing, in my opinion, from this, because the conversation is continuing.
Which is unusual, which is what horse racing needs, because horse racing is one of those sports that outside the Derby, if there's not a possibility of a Triple Crown, horse racing just kind of fades into oblivion. And every now and then, if you're a gambler, you know all about horse racing, but if you don't gamble, you have no clue what's going on.
Very little. So now, and as we know, controversy,
sells.
It sells like crazy. As soon as there's something on a show or something, a TV show where somebody's got into a fight or somebody got, something that's changed. I'm sure a lot more people are watching Empire now than ever before since Jussie Smollett, was viciously attacked in Chicago
by 2 Nigerian dudes he paid.
So those things bring a lot of attention to your product. So as they say, no, there's no such thing as bad promotion. So we'll see what comes of this, man. Shout out to our homeboy Rock, the Green Eyed Bandit. He's not here with us tonight. He's on location doing his manly duties with his family.
And also, don't forget, for everybody watching us right now, subscribe to YouTube channel. Go to the website, maineventsports101.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Follow my man on Twitter.
Please.
At the Sports Domain.
Please.
Look. The Sports Domain.
Look, remember the old Sally Struthers commercial with that dog with one eye? They trying to get people.
Oh, the little black kid standing behind it.
Yo, look.
Looking hungry.
I have 10 followers on Twitter now. I'm up to 11. Look. The Derby brought me in another look. At the Sports Domain.
You got one
Follow
more
me
follower.
on Twitter. I got one more follower straight up. Hey, and my last tweet was about, 4 months ago? What's that?
In-game.
Oh, the in-game. Oh, yeah, the in-game tweet was funky. Yeah. So no. It's going down, man. Just I need more followers, and the more followers I get, the more I'll say. That's how it is. Come on, man.
That's how it works. Hey, and thanks for tuning in. And like to end every show without any struggle.
There is no progress. Peace.
Peace.